Okay, section 5.8. All right, this is what I call a factoring medley. So we just go over all the methods of factoring we'd had before. And okay, removing common factor. For example, this expression, we can remove a factor of 2x squared y squared z squared, leaving in 2 minus 13z. Or unfoil, or called factoring by grouping. X squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6. These two terms have a common factor of x. These two terms have a common factor of 3. This x plus 2 is in common, so we have x plus 2 times x plus 3. There's what I call the PQ method. The factor x squared plus 9x plus 14. We need two numbers p and q, which sums to the middle coefficient 9, and whose product is 14. 7 and 2 work fine, so this is x plus 7 times x minus 2. X plus 7 times x plus 2. 581 x plus 2. AC method is when we have ax squared plus bx plus c. In this case, we need to find p and q, whose sum is the middle coefficient 11, and whose product, p times q, is in this case 6 times negative 7, which is negative 42. Negative 3 and 14 work. And so what we do is we write 11xy as minus 3xy plus 14xy. And this factors by grouping after a few steps into 3x plus 7y times 2x minus y. That's the difference of squares we just covered. So here, 49a squared minus 81b squared, that's the difference of square of 7a minus square of 9b. So it's 7a minus 9b times 7a plus 9b. Difference in sum of cubes. Okay, x cubed minus the cube of 2x is x minus 2y times x squared plus 2xy plus 4y squared. X cubed plus the cube of 2y is, after factoring, x plus 2y times x squared minus 2xy plus 4y squared. All right. Here we're factoring 36x to the fourth minus 36. All right, now the common factor of 36 out it comes. X to the fourth minus 1. Now, fourth power is the square of x squared. 1 is 1 squared. So this becomes 36 times x squared minus 1 times x squared plus 1. This is also a difference of squares, so we get 36 times x minus 1 times x plus 1 times x squared plus 1. Now, this, again, we can't factor it yet because we need a square root of negative 1. But as a preview, the square root of negative 1 is called I. So this factors into x plus I times x minus I. But that's for much later. Here's 6x squared minus 63 minus 13x. Okay, first we rewrite it in descending order of powers. 6x squared minus 13x minus 63. Now this is a case for the AC method. We need p and q, whose sum is negative 13, and its product is 6 times negative 63, which is negative 378. Now, after you do a search of the factors of negative 378, you'll find that 14 and negative 27 work. So you write negative 13x is 14x minus 27x, between 6x squared and minus 63. These two terms, 6x squared plus 14x, has a factor of 2x in common, times 3x plus 7. This minus 27x minus 63 have a factor of 9 in common, also times 3x plus 7. Pull out the common 3x plus 7 times the 2x minus 9, and that's the factorization. Here's a minus 2x cubed plus 54. Now 54 is even, 2 is even. Let's pull out a factor of negative 2. That way we'll get a difference. Negative 2 times x cubed minus 27. 27 is 3 cubed. So minus 2 times x cubed minus 3 cubed. That factors into a difference times square plus product plus square. Now, okay, 3 squared is 9, so you get negative 2 times x minus 3 times x squared plus 3x plus 9. Here are some examples. Here they ask to factor all these completely, and I do insist on that. So if you do only a partial factoring, you don't get the point. So here we have y cubed times y squared minus 1 minus 27 times y squared minus 1. Now, I've seen people go about the wrong way. They'd expand this out into four terms. I want to factor it rather than expand it. All right, now, these obviously have a common factor of y squared minus 1. That'll be times y cubed minus 27. Okay, now 27 is 3 cubed, so we have y cubed minus 3 cubed times y squared minus 1 squared. Now, difference of cubes, it'll be a difference, y minus 3 times square plus product plus square, y squared plus 3, y plus 9. Here's a difference of squares, and that factors into difference times sum, y minus 1 times y plus 1. So this is the factorization. Oh, I think we actually did this before. 36x to the fourth minus 36. Well, there's a common factor of 36. It's times x to the fourth minus 1. X to the fourth is the square of a square. 1 is 1 squared. So 36 times x squared minus 1 times x squared plus 1. This is also a difference of squares. So difference times sum. 36 times x minus 1 times x plus 1 times x squared plus 1. Now here, 16c squared g squared plus h squared. This is really a sum of squares, and we can't factor that yet. So this is not factorable or called prime. It's to polynomials as prime numbers are to integers. So we'll leave it like that. Now this one is written out of order. Minus 14x plus 8 plus 6x squared. So we rewrite it with the 6x squared in front. And 6, 14, and 8 have a common factor of 2, so let's pull that out. And we're left with 2 times 3x squared minus 7x plus 4. That's if you divide each of these by 2. So, okay, to factor this, we use the AC method. We need P and Q, whose sum is the middle coefficient, -7. And its product is 3 times 4, which is 12. And what do you know? -3 and -4 work. Their sum is -7, their product is 12, so we're done. So, okay, you write the -7x as minus 3x minus 4x. So twice, 3x squared minus 3x minus 4x plus 4. All right, keep bringing the 2 down. 3x squared minus 3x have a common factor of 3x times x minus 1. Okay, well, actually what I would usually do is have an intermediate step where I pull out a 4 times -x plus 1, but I want an x minus 1, so instead we pull out a -4. And so -4x divided by -4 is x, 4 divided by -4 is -1. So -4 times x minus 1. Here's a common factor of x minus 1, out it comes, times 3x minus 4, there that is, and don't forget the 2, which comes down here. 2 times 3x minus 4 times x minus 1. Oh my. I have a feeling I should end this soon because for 2 reasons. I'm worried that the cable modem might cut out again. And also there's a cat being demanding at my doorstep. But here we go. Minus 2z cubed plus 250. Okay, these are both even numbers, so we pull out a -2 times what's left over, z cubed minus 125. Now 125 is 5 cubed, so -2 times z cubed minus 5 cubed. A difference of cubes will be a difference times square plus product plus square. So you get -2 times z minus 5 times z squared plus 5z plus 5 squared is 25. Now here again, we have difference of what turns out to be 4th powers, so we're going to wind up using the difference of squares rule twice, as before. a to the 4th is the square of 9a squared. 16b to the 4th is the square of 4b squared. Difference of squares is difference times sum. And this 9a squared is the square of 3a. 4b squared is the square of 2b. So this is a difference of squares. So we're left with 3a minus 2b here. 3a plus 2b times 9a plus squared plus 4b squared. There that is. Now here they deliberately wrote this out of order, square, constant, and x. So we flip these two. 6x squared minus 13x minus 63. Okay, we'll need the AC method here. We need P and Q, whose sum is this middle coefficient, negative 13. And its product is 6 times negative 63, which is negative 378. And okay, you look over through the factors of negative 378. And after enough searching, 14, negative 27, which sums to negative 13 as required. So, right, the negative is 13x is 14x minus 27x. 6x squared plus 14x have a common factor of 2x. Dividing 2x into 6x squared gives you 3x. Dividing 2x into 14x leaves us 7. 2x times 3x plus 7. 27 and 63 have a common factor of 9. Only let's make it a negative 9 to get rid of the negative sign. So negative 9. Negative 27x over negative 9 is 3x. Negative 63 over negative 9 is a 7. So 3x plus 7 in common, pull it out, times 2x minus 9. There. So 2x minus 9 times 3x plus 7. Okay. Oh, this one's a god-awful mess. 60 q squared x squared y cubed plus 35 qx squared x squared y cubed minus 50 x squared y cubed equals what? OMG. Well, okay, 60, 35, and 50 have a common factor of 5. Here's an x squared here, here, and here. Out it comes. There's a y cubed here, here, and here. Out it comes. So 5x squared y cubed times. Okay, dividing each of these coefficients by 5, you get a 12q squared here, a 7q here, a minus 10 here. So what remains is to factor this. Again, AC method. We'll need P and Q, whose sum is a 7, and whose product is 12 times negative 10, which is negative 120. So we'll look through the factors of negative 120 to see which add to 7. So if P, whatever P is, Q is negative 120 over P, and let's look at the sum. As I go through a series of them, like this. And by the way, making the table like this and systematically going through all the factors of, in this case, 120, is, I think, really the best way to go for the AC method or the PQ method. People try and say, oh, let's just sort of magically intuit the correct solution. That doesn't work. It puts too much strain on the brain. Scott Adams, who I otherwise despise, did say something sensible once, that when you're trying to do solve a problem, you don't go for goals. Create instead a system. So here we go. We have a system. We have P, we have negative 120 over P, we have this sum. So look for all the factors of negative 120 and find out the correct one. So 1, Q is negative 120, sum is negative 119. Well, that's a negative sign too big, so we flip the signs. Negative 1, 120, 119. Negative 2, 60, 58. Negative 3, 40, 37. Negative 4, 30, sum is 26. Negative 5, negative 120 over 5, negative 5 is 24. The sum is 19. We're getting close. Negative 6 into negative 120 is 20. The sum is 14. Negative 8 into negative 120 is 15. Their sum is 7, as required. Okay, so we write the 7q as minus 8q plus 15q right here. All right, and of course, remember to keep the 5x squared y cubed along the whole way. 12q squared minus 8q plus 15q minus 10. 12q squared minus 8q has a common factor of 4q. 12q squared over 4q equals 3q. Minus 8q over 4q equals negative 2. You have 15q minus 10. They have a common factor of 5. 15q over 5 is 3q. Negative 10 over 5 is negative 2. So great, we have a common factor of 3q minus 2. Pull it out. Times 4q plus 5. That goes here. And here it is, 5x squared y cubed times 4q plus 5 times 3q minus 2. Factors this fully. Are we done? We're done. I better shut this down before it poops out again. Stop recording.